previous sessions. If you do not have idea regarding these, so you can hold, and I mean after this session you can go for the recording itself. So here we have imported df, then we exported using two csv comma separated value, where you will to catch that file, comma separated value file, and this is exporting function, whereas this is importing function. The exporting function will perform your output, your csv file data frame structure into the local machine outside your platform, your csv Jupyter notebook. But you are trying to fetch any csv file in your environment, that function is called read csv.
Hello.
Here we have importing function
Yes.
in
Good
any way.
evening, Sushmit.
So we had
Hello.
imported
I'm
this
audible,
function
Sushmit?
and already
Yes.
uploaded
Audible.
using this value, using this
Okay. How's
Jupyter
everything? Good
platform.
afternoon.
And then we had this insurance premium. If I am going to try df2, all
Morning. Good
rows and
morning, Sudhir.
columns, records and columns are defined here. So I'm going to run this code. Okay, so I'm having clarification from the previous session. uh,
अच्छा क्लियर क्लियर
I
बट
hope
मतलब
the
कुछ क्लियर करो.
candidate who asked me last session, create a new board, कि जो हमारा डाउट था कि
ठीक है कोई नहीं, मतलब ऐसे
सर
पूछ
हम
रहा था.
वन क्यों
मैं
ऐड कर
बोल
रहे
रहा था
हैं.
कि आई वाज नॉट फीलिंग गुड कि कैसे
We
वन
had a
ऐड कर
doubt
दिया
in the previous session,
एकदम से.
like by mistake I
जस्ट
added
पूछा
one
जस्ट लाइक
there.
ठीक है पूछ लेते
Can
हैं
you
ऐसा
speak
चल रहा
up?
है. आई थिंक ये
Whose doubt
क्वेश्चन
was
बेटर
that
होगा.
कि सर हम वन क्यों ऐड कर रहे हैं?
यस.
uh,
मैं तो बढ़िया हूँ सर.
Anyone? I need more responses. While
खुद आ गया आपने
subtracting
उसका
this
एक्टिंग किया आपने
start
थोड़ी सी
journey and
मतलब
end journey,
प्रैक्टिस
I
करवाई सही
added
मतलब
one.
आपने सिर्फ कर
So
लिया क्या मैंने छोड़ा है
although
ये
that was the
करने में
mistake, but somewhere you need to add one also. So I'm going to explain this one. But before that, can you speak up? Okay, no issues. So in case of different objects overview, let's say I'm
ठीक
having
नहीं होता
the
है.
different
आई थिंक
balls
सुबह के उस टाइम मतलब
within
कुछ
the
वैसा था मतलब कुछ बोला था सुबह के ना सुबह भी आपको.
right. Suppose I am having balls, right? So these are one, two, threes, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say they are having numbers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you are counting from this position to the this
पर्सनल
position,
बातें करिए
right?
यहाँ.
So how many, so what
मतलब
they will do, so they will so how many balls we have selected. So if you go for the index subtraction, that's a providing insight here, the index number and the ball counts, right? So what I'll do, I'll write 6 minus 3, so that will give 3 only, right? So that how many balls do, I'll write 6 minus 3, so that will give 3 only, right? So that how many balls do I have selected? Actually 4. But by using this calculation, I am getting only 3. For this kind of circumstances, we had to add 1. So I'm going to add 1 over here. That would be 4 eventually. So 4 balls I am going to select over here. So I thought it's that kind of a case study. So I added 1 in that syntax. Did you get that point? कि मैंने वहाँ पे 1 क्यों ऐड किया था सब्सट्रैक्शन करने के लिए एंड और लास्ट जर्नी के लिए. if you if you are having crystal clear vision, then you can understand that कि we don't need to add 1 everywhere. But in that case where we have readings that will give correct output, you don't need to add 1 here. But if we are working on objects, like जैसे probability
वो सर
distribution में हम
मुझे
करते हैं,
एग्जैक्टली किस तरीके से
so
मतलब
वहाँ
जैसे
पे
उन्होंने
you will
बोला
have
कि
to add
अगर
1 here.
म्यूचुअल फ्रेंड
Let
की
me take
बात करें
another
तो मेरी
example
बात है.
here. Let's say what I'm trying to say, suppose you are selecting from this
अच्छा अच्छा
ball
अच्छा.
to the last ball. So what you will do, you will
कि
subtract
मुझे
7
मतलब
minus
आपने
2,
बात
but
टेक्निकल कर
actually
दी थी
how
यहाँ पे
how,
अगर
how
काम
much you
प्रॉपर
are
है कैसे
getting,
कुछ.
you are getting 5, but actually you have 6 balls. So you will have to add 1 over here at the end, so you will get the correct output.
तो वो तो
Did
वैसे भी
this
पॉइंट ही है ना,
information
मतलब
sink
आपको
in?
पर्सनल
Did you
लाइफ है और
get
जो
this
कंपनी की लाइफ है
information?
वो तो अलग अलग है
Were
बिल्कुल.
you able to catch that? Where we need to add 1 or where we don't need to add 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So we had, okay, let's continue with the pandas. So we had df2. Df2 is depicting all my Excel sheet, and we had the head of first 5 records. We have random 12 records here. First, not the random,
वैसे तो मतलब
first 12
बेसिकली आपने
records.
कंपनी के चक्कर
Then
में
we
नहीं
have
छोड़ा था,
last
मतलब
5
पर्सनल
records.
यूजिंग के
If
चक्कर
you
में नहीं
do
छोड़ा
not
आपने.
pass any integer value, it will represent means last 5 records, right?
तो एक बार बता दो जैसे
Moreover,
अभी
you
मेरे को अब
can
पता
get
लगा है, मैं तो मुझे ये
sample
था
of
कि पता नहीं
it,
फैमिली के चक्कर में
three
आपने छोड़ा है.
samples
मैंने कहा चलो
randomly
ठीक है कोई
selected
नहीं.
from your dataset, your
यू शुड हैव
CSV
टोल्ड मी
file,
ना, मैं इसी
right?
बात से बात तो करते हैं इस बारे में.
If you are getting information info, which means you are getting the data type and everything, and describe will represent all the static string term itself, right? Okay, so move ahead. Let's say I'm going to create another data frame. So this would be df3, because we have already created df and df2. So now going to initialize df3 right now. Furthermore, I'm going to add pd dot read underscore
सी आई थिंक अगर
excel,
आपका और सौभाग्य का वो ऑलरेडी
and with
मतलब
this
पर्सनल भी आपके
excel
फ्रेंड्स
I'm going
वगैरह
to
म्यूचुअल हैं और
pass
वहाँ पे कहीं ना
my
कहीं दिक्कत आ रही है, तो या फिर हम ये
my
कर सकते
file
हैं
name, right?
कि आप
So
फिर
I'm going
सौभाग्य
to
को रिपोर्ट ना
upload
करो, आप फिर मेरे को रिपोर्ट करो
the
डायरेक्टली,
excel sheet, right?
अगर उस चक्कर
So
में
I'm going
काम को
to
लेके भी इशू आ रहा
upload
है, राइट.
D inside the dataset. Where is the
बिकॉज
Excel sheet? Let me check it.
तो
The
वो मैं बात
extension
करूँगा ना,
as
ऑब्वियसली
well.
मैं एक बार सौभाग्य से बात करता हूँ इस बारे में, क्योंकि
Uh,
अगर उन्होंने पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में चक्कर में अगर
CSV,
ये सब
all
हुआ
the
है और उसके
CSV
चक्कर में आपने
files
छोड़ा,
here.
मेरे को लगा
Let's
था कि आपकी
see.
मदर की तबीयत ठीक नहीं है इसलिए आपने छोड़ा है,
Do we have any
राइट. बिकॉज
Excel sheet? If we do not have, so let me take from BI Academy for BI, this one for BI schedule, right? So let me take this schedule here, right? Upload. Let me copy this name so that I do not have any typo error. I do not encounter any typo
मैं कोई नहीं,
error
मैं
there.
सौभाग्य से बात करता हूँ.
So I'm going
अगर
to
अगर हम
paste
ये
it
करते
here.
हैं
Oh,
तो आप कंटिन्यू करना चाहते हो सुमित, पहले मतलब मुझे तो अपने आप ही साइड से पता लगना चाहिए ना.
good. See, right? That's it. Now my job is
ठीक है,
to
चलो मैं एक
depict
बात
this
करता हूँ, मैं
file
आपको
using df3. Can you see? It's
मैं आपको
showing
बताऊँ या
the
सुबह तक
Power
बताऊँ?
BI
सुबह बताता हूँ मैं
function,
आपको,
right?
सुबह आपको
Or
मैं
5
11 बजे तक इन्फॉर्म
columns,
करता हूँ,
right? Or another
ठीक है.
time
एक
duration,
बार मैं सौभाग्य से
60
बात करता
minutes,
हूँ मैं,
right? If I'm going to
ठीक
show
है.
like df dot tail, so it's going to depict
यस.
last rows. Data might be some other rows are empty, but we are getting last 5 records. So total 166 records are here. Year over year change, data difference, expanding the data tables, quick measure, right? So that kind of measures are already saved, but you need to focus on this function, read excel file, which is the data frame explanation.
नहीं वो तो आई अंडरस्टैंड कि पर्सनल
All
मतलब कि
right.
यहाँ पे प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ तो आनी नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है. अगर आई
Okay,
है तो
come back
ऑब्वियसली
to
मैं
the
सौभाग्य से ही बात करता हूँ इस बारे में,
df2. Here we have df2
ठीक है. एंड
id,
यस,
age,
इफ़ यू
gender,
बी वर्किंग
bmi,
तो
etc.
आपका
I can
लास्ट
go
दिन
for
80%
something
चांसेस नहीं है
else,
कि
like
आप
let's
डायरेक्टली
say
मेरे को रिपोर्ट करोगे आप,
df2 dot
ठीक है.
describe with the transpose, right? So with the transpose function, what I'm trying to
क्या करवा
do,
दो.
I'm going to convert or going to transpose rows versus column. Previously, if you play this describe function on the screen only,
हाँ नहीं
so
वो
we
तो
have
कहीं ना कहीं रहेगा ही.
df2 on dot describe in the horizontal way. In addition to of this, we have vertical or the transpose of the same
ठीक
output,
है, मैं बात
right?
करता हूँ
That's
सुष्मित, कोई नहीं.
the
लाइक
inbuilt
कॉज
function
मतलब
there.
ठीक है, काफ़ी जो भी हुआ ठीक है, मैं एक्चुअली
right?
इसलिए बात करना चाहता हूँ, मुझे कल तो मुझे लग
Now,
रहा था कि ठीक है, जो भी
suppose
है
we
फिर एकदम
need
हीरो रिमूविंग में
some
आपको बोल रहा
basic
होगा, मैंने कहा
descriptive
चल कोई
statistic
नहीं,
of
फिर देखते हैं सचमित
analysis.
को भी सोचने के
So
लिए।
what I'm going to do, I'm
कोई
going
नहीं,
to
अभी
write
आराम से बात करूँगा,
mean
थोड़ा जब आप भी शांत हो जाओगे।
df
ठीक है, कोई नहीं, मैं बस सुबह से
two
बात करता हूँ अभी।
dot mean.
ओके,
Okay, might be
यस, मैं आपको
some
सुबह 11 बजे तक बताता हूँ, अगर अभी कुछ सॉल्यूशन निकला तो मैं
objects.
आपको भी बता दूँगा, ठीक है?
Yes. So we have
ओके
mean of
सुष्मित,
this because we might have
करता हूँ
some
बाकी,
different
चेक
non-integer
करो तो
values. So
ठीक है, करता
this
हूँ मैं
might
बात,
be
बाकी ठीक है।
case,
अगर आपको
right?
नहीं करना डायरेक्ट
Okay, it's
तो आप मत करो
df2.
डायरेक्ट, ठीक
Let
है?
me take df2. Okay,
ओके बाय।
df only we are getting the output because that's the only numerical one, right? Can we have a standard deviation of this one? Yes, we have df dot standard deviation of the entire columns w x y z. It's showing all the columns here. Here we have entire columns, right? And then similarly we have df dot variation. So that's the variation of entire keywords, right? And we will see what's the variation and what's the different terms there, right? So another point is we need to explore the df values, right? What kind of df
ओके
values
बात
and
कर
what
लेते
kind
हैं,
of
ठीक है? अभी भाई सुष्मित से
indexing
मैं सोच
there.
रहा एक बात कर ही लेता हूँ कि क्या दिक्कत आई है क्या नहीं है ये। पता है सुष्मित ने क्या बोला कि सुष्मित की और सुबह की गर्लफ्रेंड की लड़ाई हो गई थी, तो सुबह के दिन कॉल किया कल क्या करूँ,
Okay.
मैंने
So
उसको
we
यूज़
have
किया, उसको यूज़ किया, मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड को यूज़ किया, एंड उसने
original
कहा कि
files.
कल
We
कल
have
किया वेरिफिकेशन आगे तो अब मैं उसको यूज़ कर रहा हूँ
repositories and here we have indexing, slicing columns and rows of data frame. Hmm. So let me copy all these terms or I can download the raw file. Okay, this is the indexing and slicing columns and row of data frame. So I'm going to paste it here and then there might be some name columns df. Okay, so df4 is not defined. They might have some different name for this. Hmm. So instead of df4, let me take df3. Okay, so do we have name in df3? Let me check first. df2, yes, we have name, gender. All right. So on the basis of this column, I need to uh, so okay, let me take one by one. Here we have the first column, right? So df2. So inside the df2, let me take any column here. Let's say reason, right? So I'm going to take the reason of it. Suppose I want to select the certain column. So I'll write the reason name inside the given print function. So this will depict reason column only, right? In case we want to fetch more columns, not only the single one, but I need to fetch more columns at a single time, right? So what I'll do, I'll try to wrap into the same square root. I'm having two square root and square brackets, and then first column name, and then the second column name, right? That will display both these columns. So here we are displaying all the columns here. Can you see the text on the screen, which is showing both these columns, gender and BMI, right? Now I'm going to write, let's see, okay, write print df2 dot loc with the square bracket. I'm going to select some columns. Let's say BMI, right? There might be some uh, hmm, uh, ILOC. Can you see this ILOC is based upon location, right? Information index location, right? So I'm going to print this 2 from the second rows till the last, like till the second last, like 2 to 9. So I'm going to depict all the 2 to 9. Can you see the code I'm holding here? Inside the ILOC, I'm printing 2 to 9, which is the uh, second last of this index number, right? In case if I'll give 2 to, let's say 15, so it will depict 2 to 14 index number values, right? All the rows inside this values, right? So this is the single value. Or let me copy this value, could see if I'm going to print this value, let me try I means LOC, then we are having only second records. Can you see ID is equal to 3, is 28, so we are going to print only one records at a time, right? This is the LOC method that can be used for selecting rows, right? So here we have index position based upon ILOC location. LOC stand for location, I stand for index number. So within the given index number, I'm going to depict all the locations, all the entire rows. So this method can be used for selecting rows. But here we are selecting only one rows. So this is most frequent question in the interview. बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है कि did you pick up the main idea behind ILOC and LOC? So ILOC में और LOC में जो डिफरेंस है वो आपको बहुत क्लियर तरीके से पता होना चाहिए, right? So there might be some basic difference also. Any doubt do we have?
हेलो सर।
Yes. Okay.
सर
If you do not,
लास्ट टाइम
yeah.
लिखा था ना df2 डॉट लोकल, देन
Uh,
इन दैट टू वो टाइप किए ना, बाद में वो आईडी एज वो वर्टिकल दिखा था ना सर।
it's not vertical. It's based upon like single rows, right? So
ओके
ये सारे वैल्यू को शो कर रहा है जितनी भी हमारे
ओके
पास
ओके
में
सर।
स्क्रीन है, एक पूरे
ओके सर।
रिकॉर्ड्स की. So it's showing all the records there, right?
ओके सर, थैंक
Let me
यू।
print if we can. Okay, so we can print. All right. Let's say we have some filtering. I want to perform some filtering value कि मुझे BMI का ऐसे पेशेंट चाहिए जिनका BMI कुछ थ्रेशोल्ड वैल्यू से ऊपर है. Those are sick people, right? So on the basis of 6 people, I'm going to commence my diagnostic performance. So I'm having DF2. Based upon DF2, my BMI, and this BMI should be greater than let's say I need all the 40 BMIs. Those are having greater than 40, right? सो जिनका 40 से बड़ा है बीएमआई वो सारे यहाँ पे ट्रू फॉल्स के जैसे दिखाई दे रहे हैं, राइट? बट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू रैप इट हियर df2 एंड depict the column itself with the given condition. कंडीशन क्या है? ये वाली कंडीशन ट्रू है, जिसमें मतलब df2 bmi greater than 40. So if this condition holds, कैन यू सी दी रैंडम वैल्यूज, ये सारी रैंडम वैल्यूज जो शो हो रही हैं, 91 rows are satisfying this condition. Those are having index like BMI greater than 40, 40.3, 49, 41, 40, right? So if I'm going to create another pre-processing part, so the time has come to start by screening all the patients those are having BMI greater than 40. So I'm going to create df BMI greater 40. This should be the another name. So I'm going to run this code and will try to print in the separate command, and then you are having all the 91 rows, 8 columns. Those are satisfying this condition, which is satisfying this condition. So we are all set to begin with the further processing part, further investigation, right? So have you figured it out, like कि जिन patients के 40 से above BMI है? Yes. So this is the filtering part, जैसे हम SQL में भी करते हैं और other portion में भी करते हैं, right? What other things you can go? You are suppose you want to find smoker. आपके हॉस्पिटल में कौन से पीपल जो हैं स्मोकर के बेस पर एडमिट हुए हैं, राइट? जिनकी हिस्ट्री स्मोकर थी. So the theory is same. df2 square bracket, the name of the column, it should be equivalent to yes, right? Can you see it's again showing false, false, right? If I'm going to wrap this value with the square bracket and create a df2, write the column name itself. अब ये मेरा df डेटा फ्रेम है, इसके अंदर ये कंडीशन ट्रू हो, I need these rows only, these records only. So I'm going to depict all these records. Can you see? It's not having. Okay, yes. तो yes जो है small से लिखा हुआ है, इसलिए यहाँ पे कोई वैल्यू नहीं दे रहा है. My typo error. So now I'm having 274 rows, 8 columns. These patients are having history of smoker. Yes. Can you see third last column? Can you see the text on the screen with the smoker? Here we have all the previous history with the smoker. Did you pick up the main idea here? We are trying to like prune all these value here, right? Let's say df underscore smoker is equal to hit run. If you run the same data frame courtesy, so it's creating a replica out of it. So now you have all these smokers in a separate shield. आपके शीट में सेपरेट जो है वो स्मोकर की वैल्यूज है. Now you need both conditions here. Those are having BMI greater than 40 and smoker is equal to yes. अब आपको चाहिए क्योंकि आप can you see BMI is again less than 40. This is not satisfying the very first condition. It's satisfying only smoker. But अब मेरे को दोनों कंडीशन चाहिए कि BMI 40 से above होना चाहिए और स्मोकर की हिस्ट्री ट्रू होने चाहिए. So if you are catching this essence of the filter, so you can apply both these value also. So what's the so we have df2 and this df2 having this square bracket, right? So what's my first condition? First condition is df2 square bracket, this is smoker, or let's say let's begin with the BMI first. BMI is greater than 40. This is my first condition. And what's the second condition? df2 column smoker, this smoker should be equivalent to yes, right? And I'm going to deploy both the conditions, so I'll apply AND here. Can you see? So we have both the conditions here, right? So let me run this code. Can you see? We do not have any conditions, right? Do we have? Yes, we have. So why it's not showing? Let me figure it out. We have df2. Uh-huh. Any
Writing
miss?
here just should be small.
Oh, yes, that's yes. Again, typo error. So now we have both the conditions 40. So df underscore both condition equivalent to this one. Now I'm going to run the condition here. So here we have all the respective pre-processing, right? Now you want to count the numbers, so you can go for the, like, let's say I'm going to cut c cut v dot like dot shape. Let me check it out whether it will work. No, no. We have another function for this. What if I want to check the standard deviation of this one, right? But for particular condition, particular column value, right? Let's say I want to check the standard deviation of this smoker b or bmi only. So what I'll do, I'll write bmi, and within the bmi I'm going to select one more column, that's the premium, right? And allow me to wrap it in one more square bracket. Then I'm having std function. With the std function we are getting standard deviation of both these files. That's the standard deviation of both these columns only, right? Okay, so let me take another keywords. The bmi dot minimum. Can you see? This is the minimum value available in my BMI column, right? So you can find out like what kind of available values there in your machine, in your column values, right? So this is the minimum value we have here. Uh, Moreover, you can get the we in the same way you can get the C V. You can get the maximum value in the same column. So this is the patient who is having 53.13 maximum value of it. Can you see? This is the value of patient who is having value, who is having highest value there, right? Okay. So let me try one thing here. df2, and then I'm having df2 of this bmi, right? It should be equivalent to this value. Let me write one code here. Can you see? His patient का 53.13 है. This function is giving output कि main points we have discussed, main, minimum and maximum. तो ये तो मैंने बताया कि minimum value इस patient का है, maximum value इस patient का है. But what is the name of this patient? What are the details? What is the detail of this value? This patient. So you just pick this function और उसको equivalent हमने इस condition के equivalent कर दिया. Now we have this condition fulfill. Wherever this condition will be true, it's showing that condition, that entire row, that entire records. So इस ID जिसका 1318 है, एज इतना है, जेंडर इतना है, चिल्ड्रन, स्मोकर, रीजन, प्रीमियम, this one, he is having this highest BMI in my series, right? किस पेशेंट का सबसे मिनिमम है? लेट्स गो फॉर इट. 172 और ID number 173 is having lowest BMI in my data sheet. Can you see this one? So do we have any question? These are all the functions. You can write it down. So वहां पे जब आप डेटा प्री प्रोसेसिंग करते हैं, सेपरेट करते हैं, तो देन यू नीड मोर कॉन्सेप्चुअल देयर, राइट? नाउ वी नीड टू सॉर्ट समथिंग, sorting. I'm going to start the sorting. So it's time to begin with sorting for the given file, given data sheet. Here we have, let's say df2 dot sort underscore values. Within the values, I'm going to sort the values here. I'll have to give parameter by, let's say bmi. Can you see from lowest to highest? जो डेटा सेट सॉर्ट हुआ है वो एंटायर स्क्रीन पर लोएस्ट टू हाईएस्ट जो है वो डेटा सेट सॉर्ट हुआ है. कैन यू सी? दिस इज द असेंडिंग ऑर्डर, राइट?